Welcome to the Japan Game Junk podcast. I'm so happy and thankful that you're here.
And welcome back to Japan Game Junk, the podcast. And today it's a little trip that I took to that little mecca of games in the world that is Akihabara in Japan, as visited on the 30th of May, 2025. And as a bit of a rarity on this one, because I didn't really spend much time in each store, I'm going to talk over the things from two different stores, which are actually right next to each other there in Akihabara, Tokyo. So, today, first, I'm going to talk about Beep, one of the most famous and best places to see old electronics, computer and game stuff in Japan. And right beside it, there is a Surugaya store, the better of the two game-related Surugaya stores in Akihabara. So, starting off, the thing with Beep that's interesting is that near the front register there, they always have some sort of special going on in their case, and they always have sort of a junk bucket. So, the special this time for case stuff was Tokimeki Memorial, the old dating simulation game. They had all of their stuff there, tons of CDs and games and figures and all sorts of stuff, all there in one convenient spot to browse, including some very low prices on stuff. Some of the CD singles were 300 yen, very large busts, not chests, but, figure busts, like the ribcage and up figures of some of the characters were in box 500 yen, and there was a little cheap LCD, quartz watch with the Mio character for 400 yen. So if you like all that stuff, then there you go. Also, in the junk bucket, there were so many Game Boys, and all of them are 4,500 yen in different states of disrepair. Some of them look like they were probably played but had kind of damaged screens. There were Game Boys, Game Boy Pockets, Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advances. No Advance SPs, I guess, and no lights, so just Game Boy Pocket, Color, and SP. And, sorry, not SP, standard Game Boy Advance. All for 4,500 yen. Many different battery compartments, covers missing, and scratches, all the stuff you can think of. And that was the junk bucket this time. Also in a weird kind of tray bucket thing, but not junk, new software for the Sharp X68000Z. This is one of those old computer games, and on those old computer systems. So it would compete with the later versions of the MSX and the NEC, PC 8000 or 9000 series and such. But these were new games that have been made recently, and they had the Plucked Fruit and Metal Orange. They're sexy games where you play them and they're nude animated girls. You can't play it on this, I'm sure, but there was right beside it a 98 note. This is an old PC 98 system that had a disk drive, it had keyboard and trackball, all sorts of stuff there, but it was junk at only 2,500 yen. And I was surprised because that's super cheap for anything, but, it really was junk. No battery, the screen looked warped to hell, it looked like it would probably never ever work ever again, but I guess if you wanted parts, then you could get it for a cheap price, or even just to say that you own a PC 98 notebook computer. On to the standard fare, which many people would actually purchase in sorry for the yawn. Many people would purchase in the game collecting world. Batman Returns for the Super Famicom, 980 yen. They also had big collections of games, for 3,500 yen, randomly collected Famicom games, 10 of them just wrapped up in plastic. you could see 2 of them on the front and back, and you can see some of them had top labels, so maybe about half the games you could see what you were getting before you were buying them, and, you know, if they are typical beep quality and not junk quality, that's actually a pretty good price if you didn't have any of the games already. For 9,800 yen, there was God for the Super Famicom. Not so aware of this game. It's probably the Japanized version of a popular strategy game from the West, but yeah, you could say you buy God for 10,000 yen. And Metal Max Returns for the Super Famicom, half the price at 5,000 yen. There was Spy vs. Spy for the Game Boy Color, which was 6,000 yen boxed, which is kind of a lot. But yeah, it's not so outrageous, you know. Beep never really gouges with what they have there on sale. They did have a Minecraft branded and designed PS Vita Slim, the Minecraft edition. That was boxed and complete for 30,000 yen, which these days I guess would be kind of a fair price, and it is a very cute version of the Vita. And yeah, there were plenty of things in the store. Always they have old computers, arcade game converters to play on TVs, all sorts of stuff. It's a great place to visit, but it is harrowing as you have to go down a flight of stairs to go inside, and when you do that, you're on a very slippery sidewalk. And it was raining this day, and I slipped and almost fell down, so be careful going in or out of Beep. And as you go out of Beep, just go right next door to the Surugaya store, which I did. And now I'm going over the things that I found at the Surugaya store. First thing that was of note was for the Panasonic Real 3DO system, for boxed and complete, the memory unit, the backup memory that you can plug into your 3DO to have more save games, for 25,000 yen, which is kind of pricey. But this was the best version I've ever seen for sale. I have seen the unit just by itself for 10,000 yen before, and the disc that's used to operate it, which you need to have. If you don't have that, it's kind of useless. But yeah, the disc for that, which I do have actually, I found for 100 yen in a store where they thought it was just an audio CD, is one of the rarest pieces of software, because this is a rare accessory already, and most of them don't have the disc included. So if you just wanted to have that disc, even then, it's hard to find, and you can get it for 25,000 yen. Next up, for the Nintendo 64, Super Bowling was 5,300 yen. Why? I thought it'd be very cheap, but apparently not. Then there was, for the 3DO, the Japanese version of Samurai Showdown. Now, in Japan, this has always been Samurai Spirits, the first game in the series. But this is actually the Japanese published version of the US translation, the US version of Samurai Showdown for 3DO by Crystal Dynamics. And so it actually kept the name. So if you want to have the original Samurai Showdown with the name Samurai Showdown in Japan, the only version you can get is this 3DO version. And here it was being sold disc only for 1,800 yen, or with the manual and with everything else for 3,000 yen. They had the the mini systems, Famicom Mini and Super Nintendo Mini and stuff. They had the Genesis Mini 2, so this is the US version of the mini system, and it's the number 2, which is more expensive than the first one. But that one here was sold for 22,000 yen. Wow! Again, it is a foreign edition, which the import stuff is more expensive, but wowie wow! Next up, a game that I did actually purchase. This was NBA 2K23 for the Xbox Series X, which is only 1,000 yen complete. The imported version there, and again, very few people in this country have the Xbox Series X already, and it was kind of an older sports game. But I was very interested in the playing as Michael Jordan's career mode. I don't care about multiplayer or having the updated roster, so For 1,000 yen, this was a good deal, and I purchased it on this day, so don't go looking for it. Also of interest was a SimCity, the classic city building game, for the PC 9801 from NEC, complete in boxes at 2,000 yen. And yeah, SimCity is a great game, and it's really, really good stuff. Emit, which also came out for many other systems, including 3DO at the time, which is kind of a practicing English mystery game. Volume 3 for the FM Towns series, so you can play it on your FM Towns Marty. That was 4,000 yen there. And as you were leaving, outside there were big boxes absolutely full of boxed and new Virtual Boy games. They are still around. They are still getting sold. However, unlike the Surugaya stores in Chiba or in Tochigi, where I've seen them for sale before much more cheaply, here, Red Alarm, they had dozens of those, all being sold for about 5,000 yen, and Vertical Force all being sold for 5,300 yen. So, if you really want to have them new and they've sold out everywhere else, they still exist. But yeah, anyway, that's a little talking about Akihabara on this day. Again, it was a very wet and rainy day, so I didn't spend much time in the area, just parked and ran around to the places just to see what they had. I ended up spending more money in the earphone shop to get some nice new Denon high-powered earbuds with great top end. I spent more on that than I did on games on this day. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day, and remember that you are a wonderful, important person.